is Nathan Stanford Sr., and we're going to get another video on ColdFusion and HTMX. We're getting much closer. I'm building this project one step at a time. As you can see, it's the form. I need to go change that right now. Let me go back into here, and let's see, that's probably, I think it's in one of the first files. So we have right here. I'm going to change it to CF form, hit save, we go back, and we hit refresh. Okay, so there's a couple things I'm going to tell you. One of the things I did, I uploaded, I created a repo on GitHub that's public that has this commit right here. Now, what I want to talk to you about, there's a few things you can do. You can add, when you're doing this for practice, when you're doing it for work, you follow the rules at work. But when you're doing this for a portfolio or a practice run of different things, I like to put the SQL statement that creates the tables in my code so that you can go find them. You can see the code. Now this was written, I believe I got it written correctly, where it will run on MySQL. And you can see I've got the member, the category, the thread, the post, and then down here is all the foreign key constraints. Making sure you do foreign key constraints, in my opinion, is really important. Not just for, we've got indexing as well, but actually it looks like this one's all indexing. I normally do foreign key constraints. There we go, right here. That's what I'm talking about. Foreign key constraints, because then it helps you keep from getting bad data into your application. Not sure we really need these indexes for what we're doing. I'll leave them for now. I haven't actually ran this yet. If it throws an error, I'll pull them out, because this is just for a demo for us to practice. So let's go, and I'm going to, once again, MySQL, I'm going to use Laragon, and I believe I set up the start of the database right here. Let's move this over. CF form. Thought I did. And I'm looking there, and I don't see it. So let's create it then, I guess. I thought sure I had done that. Okay, fine. Create new database. And what we want is the CF form. And I'm going to go ahead and put DB for database, and then click OK. And now we have that. So now we can go, we want to run a query. And we say we want to create a new query. I believe, here, let's just select all and delete that. Make this full screen, pull this down. So I'm going to paste that script we've written, and we'll find out if it's going to run. I don't need the .SQL there. I don't know when I did that. It's probably typing. Anyway, so let's hit run up here, which will run each one of these. And I don't see any errors. So if I click on this and I say right click refresh, which is down here, and I open it up, you can see there's the category, the member, the post, and the thread. Now we can worry about if this is going to help us enough, or if we're going to need more tables later. But this is a good start. So now you can pull down from GitHub, you can go to GitHub, and you can go to SQL. I have another thing in here that I've added. In case you have not seen Mermaid, which we'll look at this markdown in a minute. If you look here, this has all that scripts. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And I'm going to delete this, which actually, let's do it the other way. If I delete it here, then I would pull it down to VS Code. But if I wanted to edit it like I did here, I edited it. Actually, I didn't here. I just did it in the database query. So we'll delete that, we'll save, and then we will come here to the version control area. You can click on here and you can see where I changed it from night owl to CF, and you can click here and you can see where I've got rid of that .sql, and you can say minor updates. I don't really think I need to explain what I did because it's such minor updates. Click the plus here, which will stage all of these. You can do this with command line, but if you're wanting to learn it just inside of VS Code, you can click here, and that will stage all of the files that you've changed, and you've got the message up here. So now I could click commit and push, or I could click commit. Because I've already pushed it to GitHub, I'm going to do git push and commit. I bet. Let me hit cancel. Probably because I started to do that. Oh, it might be the README. Let's go see. Do we have the README? Yeah, I haven't pulled the README down. That's what's wrong. So let's actually click this button, which is syncing the changes. It pulled the README down, and then it should commit. Would you like? Oh, I forgot to click plus to stage it, commit. And that's all that's in the README. We'll get rid of a lot of this, and we will make a better README at some point. This is just, oh, it's asking me, I forgot to do a commit message. Okay, fine. Add README, and then let's commit, sync the change. So now let's close this. Let's actually close all of this for a second, and let's go back here, and let's click right here. And now up here you can see, here you can see the initial version, and here it's saying inside of here there's some minor updates, and here it's adding the README. And that one just says now because it just now happened. And I've got 5 commits, so I can click on this, and you can see all the commits and everything that's happened. So let's go back to CF Form. I want to show you a thing called Mermaid. If you do a search for mermaid.js, I think in org is probably it. Yeah, this here. You can actually take and make diagrams. Like up here, you've got A to B, A to C, B to D, and C to D, and that makes this diagram. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but you've got quite a few. As you can see those, you can see this. But what's nice is you can take something like this and make your ERD in the database, inside of the GitHub, so that you can actually keep a record of it. So when another programmer comes along and they click here in the SQL and they see this ERD, they can click on it, and it shows you the database and how it's connected and what foreign keys are connected. So if you look here, you can see here's member, category, thread, and post. A member can start a thread. Category contains threads, and members can create one or more posts. So it can be a post to a thread, or they can be generating a brand new thread. So this is, I think, really cool and a good way to also document what you're doing. But when you go look at the code, it's just simply code. It's not like telling it to go left, go right. You just simply go through this code, and this code is here in the Git repo. Just go check it out. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And actually, let's click right here. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go back to here. Okay, I guess I don't need to put in the README. I need to put in the YouTube channel. So I'll try to remember to add that. Let's open up Notepad, paste this in here. So hopefully that'll remind me. And I don't have my timer on tonight, so I probably will go about 30 minutes. For some reason I'm really good around 30-ish minutes. I kind of start feeling like it's been long. So we'll see. I'll shoot to be short if I can. So now we've got that. Let's start off thinking about what do we need to do. If we think about this, none of this is coming from the database right now. So we've now also got the data tables in the database, but we need to first a sign up, a place you can sign up as a member. We also need a login. So let's go and see what we can do here. Let's go here. I want to create. Actually, let's do it this way. Everything's going through my head so fast. Let's go to Bootstrap and let's go look at all the models. But let's look for a login. Let's just go. I really don't want just a login. I want to sign up too. Yeah, this is not what I was looking for. Let's go to form. That will bring us where we want to go, I believe. So we look here at the form, we come down, we see here is an email address and login. Now, I don't like the way it's laid out. I want it to be smaller. So I will simply input group. Let's look at that one. Okay, that's cool, but that's not what I want neither. What's cool about this is, remember, whenever you're trying to solve problems, they've been solved plenty of times before. So let's just copy, we'll copy this, even though we're not taking this text area. We'll copy that to start with. We'll come back here. We will go to partials, and we will call it login, because that's going to be our sign up, log in. That's going to be several things we're going to do, or at least I think it is. I'm supposed to be using HTMX, so I might want to do it slightly different. I don't know. I'm trying to think this through how I want it. So first thing I want is I do want it to be an email, and if you notice when I double click or when I highlight this example form control input 1, I can hit control D, and now I can say this first one I want to be email, and so I want type email, I want it to be ID of email, and one thing Bootstrap doesn't do when you copy theirs is they don't put the name, which is real important to us because it's going to be what shows up in the form. So I put name, and then let's see here, email. We'll just say email. Everybody knows their email is the email address. Placeholder, that's example, that's fine. But on this one, we want it to be my password, and we will say password, and then we will say, whoops, hold on. I thought I got rid of the second cursor, but I didn't. So we'll say password, and then we'll say we want the type to be password, and we want these two here to be my password, and we want in the input, we want the ID. The ID is already there, it's my password, so let's do like we did before, name equals my password. I usually try not to name them the word password. Sometimes I'll just name something totally different, because then it makes it just a little less obvious as to what they are when robots are going through trying to figure things out. This is for us. You can change it to whatever you want. Once again, if you're using VS Code and you see the circle, it means it's not saved. I did Control S. It's now saved. So now I've got the login. Let's go back to this index page down here. I don't know that this is going to work because I'm not sure I have a feeling I'm not going to like the looks of it. But let's go to the index and let's simply add above this card on the right. It's in the partial, so let's just add login.cfm. Let's just see how it looks. Come back here. Let's close that. Hit refresh. Let's close that. I don't know. I guess it's okay because if you're not logged in, I do need to have a button. So let's see here. Let's go back to the login. Let's start a form. Let's see here. Let's go down here. Form. I want a div on the outside. Class login screen. And I'm going to do that. And let's copy this. And we will move this over. Action. Actually, hold on before I make that change. Because what we want to do, or what I want to try to do, is to have it where when you submit it, it logs you in. And it then, after it logs you in, it changes this login screen to be your name for now. So we will be setting the session and so forth. But let's go look at HTMX now. One of the things we haven't done is we haven't connected to HTMX. Let's see. HTMX 2.0 is released. That's what we want, whatever the latest is. We want to be ready to use whatever the latest is. So we're going to use the CDN just because we're trying to do this in a hurry. Now you could download a copy, but I'm just going to copy this and we're going to use that. So let's go back and let's go back to header. Includes header. And then we're going to paste here. And I think it's fine. Okay. So now we've got 2.0.1 of HTMX. So now what we want to do is we want to make this form here use HX to submit. So let's actually, I'm trying to think of what I would do. Okay, what I would do, there's a couple different things you can do. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to submit the form. You can look at it here, or you could first start by looking at the examples, because some of these examples are exactly what you want. Basically, we want the same kind of things this is doing. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see any of the others that I would do, but let's just try this one. So this click to edit, we're not really clicking to edit, but this click to edit is changing this data and then setting it back. So if we look at this, when someone clicks on this click to edit button, which is right here, we want to do something similar to that. I'm just trying to think that through. I'm not sure that's right. I don't think that's what I would do. But let's start looking at this. I don't want it on the button because I want to pull in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here in the form, I'm going to do hx.post. Okay, if I do post, it's going to, in ColdFusion, it's going to send it like a form, and it's going to give you all the form variables in form dot whatever. And if I do it in get, it's going to have to be passed in to the URL variables. So let's just get rid of that. Post What do we want this file to go to? Let's go back and see. I'm in the partials. I'm going to have it be a partial that it hits. So I want it to say login, validate, login check. So now the login and the login check are right near each other. Login check. Whoops. Login check. So now I've got the login check. So what I want it to do is I want it to post to login check and .cfm, and then I want hx target I want it to, you know what, let's move this outside of this even. Will that work? Was that what I want? No, let's leave it inside. And I got a good reason for it. So let's move these over. Okay, so the target, oops, it's not class, it's ID. So I want to target the ID. So if I submit something to this page, I want it to come back with that. So let's actually copy and paste this for a second. Delete what's inside, because now we want a button. That submits. I think this is right. I'm trying to remember if I need anything else. I don't have those memorized. But let's go back, hit refresh. I've got some stuff put in here. I'll just put in a fake password, click OK, and nothing came back. So let's see here. I want it to submit. Let me think this through. Okay, let's see here. What I'm going to do is make another change. I'll figure out what's going on. I'm just going to call this down here test. We're going to target. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put in the hash. Let's just test this real quick and see. If I do this, it should replace what's here in test. So I hit refresh, click this, and it did. Even though it's got the debug there, that's fine. That just lets me know that worked. So let's come back here and let's change it back to login screen, but with the hash in front, which I forgot to do. That's what was wrong with it before. Okay, so I hit refresh, and I'll just make up a fake password, click login, and now it's popping back, and it's not filling in. Let's do this. One of the things I forgot, I kind of need to do, CF setting, show debug output equals false, and then what we want to do is H1. I just want to get this to come back. So let's hit refresh. So I'm not getting it to come back. So let's see here. I'm trying to hit in the login, trying to hit the, oh, you know what? Even though I'm saying login check and I'm thinking about it being the partials, it's coming from the index page. So if it was coming from the index page, that would be above this. So let's just add dot partials. Let's see if it works now. I don't know that it will, but let's just see. Aha, login login check. So the problem is that even though I'm inside here, that's a partial that's included on the index page, which is one level up. So I need to get to the partials. I need to start in the local root, go down partials to get to the login check. Okay, so now what I want to do, let's see here. I need to be able to create some users in the database, at least one user. So let's come back over here, one member, and then let's say create somewhere in here. I'm used to using other tools or building it on the fly. Hold on, let me back up before I do that. Let's do it this way. So what I really want is, with that login, the ability to click a button to sign in. So I need to have a second button that says sign up, not sign in, sign up, or maybe register. And then we want this to be just a button, so it doesn't submit the form. But what we do want it to do, let's see here, we want to be able to have it pop up. Let's see here, I'm trying to think of how I want it to be. You know what, for this time, I think I'm going to start a href, and we want it to go to register.cfm, and we want to say register, and then we can say for class btn primary, you know what, secondary, because once they've signed up, they won't need it. So we need a file for register. Now we can change some of this with HTMX later if we decide to, but right now I'm going to say register page. So if I go back here and I hit refresh and I click register, it brings me to the register page. So let's go back here. I'm going to copy this here so I don't have to retype it. Now I can build a register page. So the first thing I want, it's going to be the same as the index as far as the header and the footer. So I will just simply copy that, put that there, come down here, delete, and pop over here, and we'll say footer, save, and then we'll come back here, go backwards, hit refresh, register. Now there's other ways you can register, and maybe at some point in the future we will do it. I'm just trying to hurry and get to the point to add a member so I can start turning the home page into HTMX requests and different things in spots, if not most of it. So right now we're going to register, so we need to build a form, and our form needs to be able to fill in what's in our SQL. So if we go look in our SQL member, let's copy this. We don't have to worry about member ID. It's going to automatically create ID. If I was building this the normal way, I would actually, for me, I would use ID on every single table, but I've done it with a table underscore ID. So let's do this. So we need username, email, join date, it's going to be auto, last activity is going to be default current timestamp. So I need to make sure it doesn't update the join date in the future. We'll figure that out in a minute. Post count, if they add a new post. Okay, so the only thing we have to add right now is username and email. And I just saw, wait a minute, we got a problem. We don't have the password. That's crazy. I totally forgot. Now, I made it long. I don't know if that's long enough. I think it is, in case we decide to hash the password. So now I need to drop the table member. It's got some foreign keys, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it real simple. So let's come back here. I'm going to do it the simple way, all right? I'm going to drop the stinking whole thing, and then that way I don't have to go through figuring it out because I already have a script ready to go. I drop it, and then I simply say, okay, I want a new database called CFForm DB. So then from there, before I run the script, let's copy what I have out here. Select all, copy. This one's got the password in it. There may be other times we do stuff. So let's see here. If I do that, then I want to go back to the database, and I will select all, delete everything, paste everything, and let's hit run. Error, no database selected. I guess that's true. First, I'm going to hit refresh. So we should see no tables when we click plus. That's good. And then what we can do is up here we can say use CFForm DB. Now, if I did that right, I think that's all you have to do. There we go. So now if I hit right click and I hit refresh and click there, you should see the tables again. So now what we really need is someone to enter a username, an email, and a password. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the register page. We're going to generate a form for this. Now, might as well start off with, since we're doing Bootstrap, with a Bootstrap form. There is, here says forums, we'll go to forums, scroll down, this is an email and password, exactly what we want, maybe a little more to it, because this is like you're logging in, but I'm going to start with that, and then we'll change it. So I can just simply paste this in here, and let's see, okay, so here, you're entering your email, you're entering your password. We need to have a username. And you know what? I forgot. I don't really like to use a username. I like to use people's email. So we're gonna once again make a change. And when you're dealing with a customer, you're gonna have this problem. Now, not exactly this, because this is usually the part you create, you do, and they're happy with however you do it. But I don't really want to use this username. So what we can do, in case you don't know what to do, and it's alter, drop to column, I do know what to do, but I'm going to show you. Do SQL alter drop column and hit search, and then you can come down here to these. Now this up here is something else. Maybe one of these days I'll explain. That's showing up because of some plug extension I have in Chrome. So you can go down and look at a bunch of these. W3 Schools, because this is such a simple task, is going to be easy. You can copy that. You can go back to your database, and let's actually create a new table column, because I don't want to mess with these. Actually, you know what? Let's delete all of these except for the one table we're getting ready not to drop. Just delete the text in front of us. And then what we'll do is we'll keep the use. So if we paste this here, we're changing the table member, and we're wanting to drop the column username. Now put a semicolon on the end, and now I'll delete this, and now we can actually run all of this, and it dropped the column. And the way we can tell it dropped the column is this was for member. So if we go, whoops, I Didn't mean to do that. If we click on member and then we click on table, you can see member has all of this, has email and password, but username is gone. So now I'm feeling much better. So let's go back to our code. We want to have them when they click register, they're going to come here. This looks ugly. We're going to fix it. We come to the register. First thing we want to do is we want to realize this is one page. This is the place to register, but let's do div class container, and then we will put an ending div down here. We'll tab this all over. We'll come back here. We'll hit refresh. Now it's a little better, but it's still pretty ugly. And we've got some code that we've pasted that we haven't gotten rid of. That's this down here. So now that should be gone. Let's start off with saying, okay, I would like it to be probably 3 rows wide. So I would say column 3 rows, and I want it to move over. Now here again, I'm not doing mobile first. I'm sorry. I'll get back to that at some point. Maybe I'll adjust this here in just a minute to make it mobile first. But let's just start with this for a second. Offset, let's say 4. I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out. So that looks about right, but I need to make password and submit be the same way. It might need to be 1 more column longer, and 4 over is a little too much. So let's make this 3, and we need this not to be here. But we kind of want, we kind of want it to be up here. Now let's go hit refresh. So there, now it's kind of fitting in. It's not exactly centered. But we also wanted to say, kind of like we did on index, we want to say if it's medium width, let's go back on register, and we'll add this. Actually, let's add it up here. And we'll say large. I don't know. Let's go hit refresh. So this doesn't look like it changed, but when I make it smaller, it's still not fitting into mobile. I need to make it, let's see here, when it's small, let's get rid of the offset. That's one of the problems I just thought about, because when I hit refresh, see, so now it fits. And so as we get this bigger, it kind of stays in the center. I don't need to keep this check me out. That's not anything I need. Let's get rid of that. And I want to align center, I think. Let's see how that looks. Didn't really do what I wanted. It's been a while since I've had to do it this way. Let's say text center. And I don't think this is going to work. And of course it doesn't. I will try to get back to you on how to fix the button. I think I've probably got enough. I'm going to stop the video here. I will double check, make sure I've got enough. And anything you see, anything you could suggest, that's fine. I don't think we need this here. That's just help. So most people know how to do an email address. I'm not going to put that there. And I will work on, what I might work on is getting some of this code working so that I can show you what I've done, because I really have some more ideas. One of the ideas I really wanted was when you're, and I haven't done it yet, was when you click register. I'm possibly thinking, maybe you guys tell me if you like the idea. Instead of going to a register page, I want it to be a modal that pops up right here in the middle. A dialog screen that just pops up, and then you fill out your username and password. But I'm wondering, is that 508 or not? And where I'm so used to thinking about 508. Do you want me to consider 508 for all of my demos that I give? If so, then let me know. And if I do anything I shouldn't, let me know, because I get to coding sometimes and forget to check. But this now is on another screen after they click that. Then when they click submit, and this is supposed to be a sign up, so instead of the word submit, this is going to be register, and we're going to be adding more information about the user. So we won't just want the email and password. We will want something like I guess we do want a username, because this is the username. Anyway, I will fix that, and I will fix the SQL statements in the next version. So hopefully this is helping. If you like anything I'm doing, you like how I let you see me run into problems and fix them, how I fix them. Obviously this still has a lot of work to go, and we're going to go through this step by step, so that if you were learning how to do this, you should be able to take what I'm doing and use it for your job. And if you don't have a job, you should use it to be able to build something that you can then show a future job. Thank you again.